Today on Impulse, the future of gaming has arrived! As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Justin Moore, and we're going to be recapping and discussing the PlayStation 5 Future of Gaming show. First, though, let's discuss the elephant in the room, and discuss the unveiled look of the hardware itself before recapping the games.
To quote my brother, ew. I asked him what he thought of the console as it was revealed, and he just said, ew. I have to say, I'm not really a fan of the design myself. I think it looks like a fake console that you would see someone made up. Like if you just Google PS6, it looks like something you'd probably come up.
It looks like if you typed in PlayStation 4, but you were in the year 2008 into Google Images, and you got some wild, wacky render.
Remember how the PSVR was codenamed Morpheus because of The Matrix? And the PS4 Pro was codenamed Neo? Well, yeah, I feel like this is definitely Matrix future inspired.
I'm sure plenty of memes will be made, if not already. I've already seen tons on Twitter.
Yeah, I've already seen tons of router jokes and stuff.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting generation for console aesthetics. You got like the giant brick from the Xbox.
Chunk box or curve monster.
Yeah, it's something. Anyways, there's no release date yet, and the price hasn't been revealed. I imagine they're still playing chicken with the Xbox. Yeah, just not a whole lot of information revealed. There's still no talk of like what the key differences are between backwards compatibility between both systems, because they revealed two. You got the one with the actual disc drive, the optical drive, and one without, an all digital version. I'm curious how backwards compatibility will play a role on that digital version. So
I guess just PlayStation Now stuff. I mean, maybe PS4 games you could download. I mean, if only they told us, I suppose.
Yeah, if only. But anyways, here's hoping it also has Ethernet. Let's talk about video games.
Coming straight out of the gate with GTA 5.
The
game everyone's waiting
gaming.
for.
The future of gaming started with GTA 5.
And what looked like to me, GTA 5 launch footage from 2013, like a lot of it looked like it was really bad resolution stuff. And I thought like, okay, maybe they're going to do this is what it looked like on PS3, this is what it looked like on PS4, this is what it looks like on PS5.
No, it was just a badly spliced together trailer. No agent, sadly.
No agent. I mean, it's still coming out for the PS3 eventually. Can't wait to play that 2025 on my PS3.
The most I can hope for from this release, because it's a 2021 release, so it's not even a launch game. I hope maybe it'll shoot for the stars in terms of resolution and frame rates, so like 4K 60, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're pumping out a ton of new assets for it or anything, right? Like new textures or polygons, you know, new models, tons of new polygons. I assume it's like upscaled and runs better. We'll
probably get something that at least matches the PC release, but we do have a quote from Rockstar. The new generation versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 will feature a range of technical improvements, visual upgrades, and performance enhancements to take full advantage of the latest hardware, making the game more beautiful and more responsive than ever. I imagine with stuff like the PlayStation 5 SSD being able to load so quickly, things like switching characters will probably be extremely quick.
Pop-in will be reduced decently.
Definitely, yeah. Whereas if you played on PlayStation 3 and you switched characters, they took like a solid minute.
It took forever and the world stitched itself together in front of you as you were driving down the highway.
But then following that, bringing out the big guns after taking us to the future with GTA 5, Spider-Man. Miles Morales.
Yeah, so I guess it's a spin-off thing. I guess we don't know how large it will be. I assume, I have a gut feeling that it'll be more of a, Infamous First Light sort of standalone DLC type of a deal. I'm not expecting a full game here.
We do have a quote from the PlayStation blog. Players will experience the rise of Miles Morales as he masters new powers from his own Spider-Man. With PlayStation 5's ultra-fast SSD, players can near instantaneously fast travel across Marvel's New York City, or feel the tension of each of one of Miles' web swings, punches, web shots, and venom blasts with the DualSense wireless controller's haptic feedback. DualSense, I'm never gonna get used to that. I know.
Wow, the haptic feedback really makes it feel like my hands are covered in webs.
Can't wait.
I'm excited.
Holiday 2020 release, probably a launch title. We don't know for sure, by the way, on the size of this thing. For all we know, it could be a full game, which would shock me.
Yes.
Because Insomniac have been working on something else that we'll get into. Next up was the game, the one game that I was hoping for, that if was announced, I would be like, yep, that secured my PlayStation 5 purchase, Gran Turismo 7. I have been waiting a long time. No release date though, which is a little bit sad. There's also no mention of PlayStation VR support, but given that Sport had it, I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I think it's just because they haven't talked about the PSVR yet for PS5.
Yeah.
They don't want to jump the gun on that.
But like I said, this pretty much sold me on the PlayStation 5. I love Gran Turismo. One thing that the trailer did show was Mountain Trial is coming back. You can see it blatantly in the trailer there. I'll definitely highlight that in the actual video. And the map and screen like UI stuff is the most Gran Turismo fucking thing I've ever seen. It looks like it's straight out of Gran Turismo 4 again.
I hope it still has all of the Gran Turismo fun facts that Sport has. I've only really played Sport. I haven't played a lot of the other Gran Turismo, so you have to fill me in on if they had this. But sometimes if you let Sport just sit on the main menu, it'll just have fun facts. Like, the hamburger was invented in whenever, or just like something like that.
I can't remember, but I remember Snoop Dogg had a sit track for A-Spec.
I believe that. He was in Tekken as well. He loves to get around. He was in Call of Duty. So when's Snoop coming to the PS5?
Hey, you know what? He'll probably make an appearance.
I'm sure he'll be there.
And then up next was Insomniac's next big announcement, which is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Their Portal video game where they show off the cool no load screens and fast loading of the SSD.
Oh yeah, they definitely showed some legitimate gameplay here, because there was even some frame hitching, as you pointed out.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm all for. Like, I'd much rather have a stuttery mess of a demo than like a fake demo, which I understand why companies wouldn't want to put those out because it's not a good look, but at least I know this is probably running on a PS5.
No word yet on a release date, so it's not a launch title, but it's a fine example of what the PlayStation 5's SSD is capable of, which is pretty damn impressive. Following that, though, was an announcement from Square Enix for Project Athia, or Athia, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, from Luminous Productions. And we don't have really a whole lot of information on this, not even like a game name, like this is a project title. It's designed exclusively for PlayStation 5. The whole time we were both watching this, we kind of kept thinking this could be a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, and I would believe it could be like a spin-off, potentially. I was thinking at first, like, oh, is this like the next Final Fantasy? But once they said exclusive, I was thinking, maybe not on that.
Well, there was a period of time there where they were exclusive.
Definitely has that aesthetic. Unsurprisingly, considering the team and all, but
it wouldn't surprise me if this gets a Final Fantasy branding to it. But anyways, following that is Stray.
Yeah, there was a cat and robot people. I got that much. I remember there's a lot of neon lights, and I remember thinking that'll look nice in HDR.
Overall, though, it looks like something. I don't really have any strong feelings either way about it. The publisher is calling this a PlayStation 5 console exclusive, so this is probably going to be a PC release as well.
I feel like with a couple of these things, it's hard to have strong feelings about them anyway.
Definitely.
So far, because we've just seen like cinematic trailers that give you the vibe.
In-engine stuff, definitely. Up next is House Marquise, sorry if I butchered that name, and their first PlayStation 5 game, which is Returnal?
Yeah.
Which is an alien psychological horror third-person shooter thing. The gist of it is it's something about crashing on an alien planet. I thought it looked fine, but none of it really got me stoked, but it looks nice, I guess.
Yeah, the most standout thing about this was the title being Returnal.
Yeah, I noted here that Returnal sounds like a Wick Phase Springs Eternal album name or song.
I immediately thought of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance when I saw Returnal.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Up next is Sackboy getting his own video game. Yes. Sackboy, A Big Adventure.
Still not the mascot for PlayStation. I guess PlayStation doesn't care to have a mascot in the rest of the world outside Japan at this point.
Well, no, they do now. They got Astrobot, which we'll get into later, but you got Astrobot, and then you got Toro over in Japanland, and then you got Sackboy, the true deserving mascot of fucking PlayStation, getting tossed to the side here, but whatever. He gets his own game, so it's something.
Yeah. Little Big Planet 1 and 2, Media Molecule, great. Little Big Planet 3 by Sumo Digital, who are developing this game, not so great. But perhaps that bodes well for this because it looks to be a 3D platformer instead of like a 2.5D thing like the traditional Little Big Planet games. So it might be good to have a change of gameplay design with this developer. Maybe they'll take to it better.
Up next was Destruction All-Stars for the PlayStation 5, which I can only really describe as Rocket League meets Twisted Metal.
Yeah, it's got that, I believe you said, like, just generic esports aesthetic. And I can't disagree, you know?
Once again, common theme here. Ton of games that showed off, but not a whole lot of info.
Right.
Following that was sorry if I completely butcher the name of this, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which is developed by Ember Lab, a small team with a background in film and animation.
You can tell. I thought this was one of the more visually impressive games of the conference, or thing, whatever we want to call this video presentation.
No, yeah, visually it looks absolutely impressive, and I'm sure like on a 4K HDR display it'll look incredible, so that'll probably be the big thing this generation, is just the added detail to things.
Particle effects, hair, ray traced reflection, shadows, all that.
Unsurprisingly though, it's not just a PlayStation 5 release. An after-the-fact press release mentioned a PlayStation 4 edition and a PC version via the Epic Games Store. But up next though is a game that I'm sure somebody out there is stoked for. Get ready to relive your awkward teenage years in Goodbye Volcano High.
Yeah, I can't say that the dinosaur aesthetic is my thing for a teen drama or whatever. I can't really say teen drama is my thing either.
Yeah. Same story as the last game. It's coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and PC. The only kind of real info I could really date upon this thing was some various press releases and the trailer description, which more or less just reads as, Goodbye Volcano High is a cinematic narrative adventure about the end of an era and the beginning of a love story.
Aww.
So, hopefully somebody out there is like, hell yeah! And getting stoked for that. Up next is kind of hitting in the classic vibes here and giving me some nostalgia. Oddworld Soulstorm. I'm always down for more Abe and Oddworld. I loved the original Abe's Odyssey on PlayStation 1, and I'm always down for more. From Chris Moyes' write-up on Destructoid, combining frenetic combat, platforming action, and more than likely a hell of a lot of puzzles. Oddworld Soulstorm looks to be a sequel fans have been waiting for a long, long time. Yeah, he's not wrong.
No, it's been a while.
Quite literally, multiple generations. This is currently in development for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, with no release date yet revealed. Following that, we got to see more of Ghostwire Tokyo, which was announced in what feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
Last year at last year's E3. It looked spooky. Jokes aside, it looked surprisingly action-oriented, actually. And I'm surprised as well with the choice of first-person perspective. Ghostwire Tokyo is due in 2021. Bethesda has confirmed as well with us that it is a PlayStation 5 console exclusive, as is Deathloop, which we'll get to later, and both will be coming to PC. Maybe at a later date, I'm not sure what the deal is there. Following that was Hitman 3.
Yeah, baby, Hitman.
Yeah, Hitman 3 is coming to like everything. It's coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Pretty much everything minus the Switch in early 2021. I still need to play 1 and 2. I don't even know if I need to. Apparently the maps transfer over or something. I'll let you talk about this.
I'm a big fan of Hitman 1 and 2. And when Hitman 2 came out, all of the maps from Hitman 1 transferred. So when I play Hitman 2 now, I just have everything. I'm going to assume the same thing happens with Hitman 3, because they say it's the third game in the World of Assassination trilogy.
The PlayStation
Yeah,
blog.
okay. So, I mean, I would just recommend, if you haven't played them yet, wait for 3, pick up the complete pack or whatever, and play all the levels in 3. Because all the cool new mechanics they're probably going to add to 3 will be back ported to those maps, because that's what happened with 1 and 2. Great way to play them. Awesome games. Super excited for that.
And you can experience them on shiny new hardware.
Yes.
Probably a pretty good frame rate, hopefully.
Huge crowds.
Up next was Jett, The Far Shore, which is releasing holiday 2020. Could possibly be a launch game. We're not entirely sure yet. It looks interesting, but apparently it'll also sound incredible. From Jordan's write-up on Destructoid, Super Brothers Craig D. Adams called the PlayStation 5's 3D audio processing revelatory on the PlayStation blog. This may sound silly, but with the PlayStation 5, it's as if you really have ears in a video game for the first time. There is suddenly an unprecedented fidelity available for perceiving audio spaces. And honestly, like, that quote from the PlayStation blog was more exciting than my interest in the game itself. Like, I keep thinking about the possibilities of that, like combining that with next generation PSVR, 3D audio and next gen PSVR, and like something like Gran Turismo 7 has me incredibly excited.
Yeah, I love 3D audio. I mean, I've played a good deal of VR games, and it's just so nice to be able to hear if there's someone above you, not just behind you, but like above you. And it's not just VR games. VR games obviously have the most obvious implementation of it, but like even Counter-Strike on PC has a system where it has simulated 3D audio, so you can hear if someone's above you or below you, which helps on various maps and situation positional awareness. Big fan. Every game should have 3D audio.
Following that is Godfall, which is another game that was announced like in what feels like forever ago. And it is a melee-based action RPG on PlayStation 5, being published by Gearbox. It'll be releasing holiday 2020 for PS5 and PC. Probably, maybe a launch title? Not entirely sure yet, but just like I said, we don't have a whole ton of info on the actual PlayStation 5 launch itself, and there was not a lot of like specific dates here, and a lot of that is because of just current events, so. And not to be like a complete stick in the mud, but watch the gameplay for this, like even going back and when I was recapping this, taking notes for all of this. It honestly looks like something I've already played like a dozen times over the past 2 console generations. It's a action RPG. You know, maybe it'll surprise me outside of the visuals, but I didn't feel really either way about this one as well. But following that is Solar Ash, which looks suitably beautiful and eccentric. It's from the same folks behind Hyper Light Drifter, which I haven't played, but I've heard nothing but good things. Same kind of vibes here. You know, no real feelings either way on this. It looks absolutely gorgeous though. It's going to be coming to PlayStation 5 as a console exclusive in 2021, so expect a PC release as it was previously announced for the Epic Games Store as well.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat where I haven't played Hyper Light Drifter, but I've heard so many good things. It's just on the list. I gotta get to it eventually. But no, it looks very pretty. Maybe I'll give this one a shot first and then go back to Hyper Light Drifter because I love procrastinating.
But on the note of no real feelings...
Oh boy.
NBA 2K21 will be shooting the hoops on the PlayStation 5 this fall.
Yeah, when this came up, I asked my brother, who's a big basketball fan, and is in fact probably playing NBA 2K20 as we speak, what he thought. And he said, I don't care, it probably won't be good like 2K20 isn't. So...
Harsh critic.
Alright, it's harsh words from a man who plays 2K20 every night, but...
My only takeaway from this was that certainly was a sweaty dude, and this is certainly a basketball game. Personally, I haven't played an NBA game since like the Dreamcast, so I doubt this will be changing that.
Yeah, bring back Sega Sports, you cowards.
But up next was the big hit.
Yes,
the big guns. Bugsnax.
I love Bugsnax.
It's made by the Octodad folks.
At first, I was on board with Bugsnax. I like Little Strawberry Man. And then I saw the Walrus, and you lost me completely. Did not like the Walrus. But then...
The Walrus is what threw you off, damn.
The song kicked in, and it was a Caro Caro Bonito song. And I'm a big fan of that band, so I'm back on board, baby. Bugsnax, my favorite PS5 game.
Well, hey, not just PS5, as Bugsnax will be coming to PlayStation 4 and the Epic Games Store on PC as well.
Everyone gets Bugsnax.
Everyone. No release date as of yet, but it's coming to multi-generational devices. Following that was the Sackboy replacement, Astro. He's getting his own game, not only just a game for the PlayStation 5, a pack-in game. As per Chris Carter's write-up on Destructoid, during Sony's PlayStation 5 showcase, Astrobot hopped out of the DualSense controller. And that should have been everyone's first clue that Astro's Playroom is a pack-in game. The game will be preloaded on PlayStation 5, and each of the 4 platformer worlds is based on PlayStation 5's console components. Astro will be teaching everybody about the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, at first I thought it was just going to be a platforming sequel to the PSVR Astrobot Rescue or Adventure, or whatever that game was called on PSVR. It has a bunch of pack-in games with it, and a lot of them are Astro-centric, and they're pretty fun, so...
Sackboy is robbed, but up next is Little Devil Inside. Once again, not a whole lot of strong feelings on this, but I think a lot of the visuals look neat, and there was also just not a whole lot of info. But I can't imagine this is an exclusive. Expect it popping up elsewhere.
Right. It had
no release date yet.
It had like a lower poly aesthetic, but then it had like detailed vegetation and stuff. So some stuff going on that's interesting with the visuals, but you know, not feeling strongly one way or the other. Like to see some more gameplay, see what the core loop of the game is, you know.
Following that was probably the big win for a lot of people. Like the game that probably is going to sell some systems. Demon's Souls is getting remade, specifically by Bluepoint Games, which is really exciting. For those that don't know, Bluepoint have been in the remaking and remastering business for a long time now, and they have made some incredible remasters for Metal Gear Solid 3 on PlayStation 3 and the Metal Gear Solid HD collection in general, to the Shadow of Colossus remake here on the PlayStation 4 this past generation. So I'm pretty damn excited to see what they're gonna do with Demon's Souls. The only Souls game that I've actually played and beaten.
Well, most people would argue that it's, well, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of people would argue it's the best Souls game. That's a hard choice for me to make, but it's certainly one of the best ones, one of my favorites. I am super excited for this. Not only just because Demon's Souls is great, but also like reinvigorated multiplayer base for this. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, according to Bluepoint and the PlayStation blog, this remake invites players to experience the original brutal challenge, completely rebuilt from the ground up and masterfully enhanced with a new fractured mode. In addition to beautiful shadow effects and ray tracing, players can choose between 2 graphic modes while playing, one focused on fidelity and one focused on frame rate. That's pretty interesting. Like, I'm curious if like the one focused on fidelity will be like, you know, targeting 4K 30, but I'm hoping the frame rate option allows for 1080 60. Does that'd be
or even
nice.
like 1440p 60 or variable
Yeah, definitely.
resolution, dynamic res with 60 frames. Solid 30 is an upgrade though, because I tried to play Demon's Souls, I don't know, I think I went back maybe a year ago. God, that game does not run very well on the PlayStation 3.
But up next was Arcane's Deathloop. Once again, another game that was just announced at last year's E3. As per Brett's write-up on the site itself, the story is still the same, rival assassins stuck in a Groundhog Day cycle of killing each other over and over again. It's a cool premise, slick presentation, and Arcane has earned our trust.
Yeah, I mean, just following up on what Brett said, with Arcane earning their trust between the Dishonored games and the Prey reboot, well, I guess reboot, yeah. I'll play anything Arcane makes. I just really love them. I love all those games.
Yeah. And kind of as mentioned previously, Bethesda has confirmed that Deathloop is a timed console exclusive to PlayStation 5, and will be launching holiday season. So maybe a release launch game thing? I don't know, we'll have to find out. But up next was probably one of the bigger announcements that's kind of been, I wouldn't say overshadowed, but I haven't seen a lot of folks mentioning or talking about it too much. Resident Evil Village, or as cleverly showcased in the actual logo of the game, Resident Evil 8.
Resident Evil 8 Age.
As per Chris Moyes' write-up on the site itself, set 7 years after the events of the Baker Mansion, players will once again step into the role of troubled Ethan Winters, the character from Resident Evil 7, forced into a brand new nightmare within this mysterious locale, seemingly untouched by time. It looks like fans of the rusted homes and dank dead forests of Resident Evil 4 are going to be very happy indeed. After several minutes of grim, artistic terror, featuring frightened villagers, amazing messed up society tweens, and a Universal Studios-style Wolfman, the preview concludes with a sudden, violent arrival of longtime series protagonist, Chris Redfield. Chris is back. He made an appearance at the end of 7, but he's back again, seemingly shooting somebody Ethan cares about. But Resident Evil Village is currently in development for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC via Steam. The horror returns in 2021. Notably, no last-gen release. This is strictly a next-gen game. Following that was Capcom's Pragmata. The moment I saw this, I remember thinking to myself, somebody watched the Hideo Kojima Studios like intro video thing and was like, yeah, we can make that into a full game.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2.
New Stranding game, for sure. As per Chris Carter's write-up, in the trailer that looks like it's straight up presenting the next Hideo Kojima game, a man in a spacesuit walks the city streets where he is greeted by a girl and a holographic cat, looking up at a tentacle-ridden structure. He grabs the girl and flies around in a crazy action sequence that ends up looking back at Earth and space. Pragmata is not a PlayStation 5 exclusive, which is something we should probably bring up. It's also coming to the Xbox Series X and PC, and it's truly going to be a next-gen game as well, alongside Resident Evil 8, as it's not slated to arrive until 2022, so it's a ways out.
Yeah, I don't know, I thought the satellite crashing through the what you thought was the sky imagery was cool. I always liked that effect. It was in the Prey reboot as well, where it's, look, it's the outside, and then you break through it, oh, it's just a screen. I don't know, that looks neat. I have no clue what this game's gonna be. It looks wild.
But finally, the big last kind of ending announcement was Horizon Forbidden West, a follow-up to Horizon Zero Dawn, which looks absolutely incredible. In my opinion, it was easily the best looking game shown outside of maybe Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah, I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4 is easily one of the best looking games on that console. So it's fitting that one of the best looking PS5 games we've seen so far is the sequel.
And all that said, I still need to play the first one.
No, I know. I'm in the same boat. I played a good couple hours of it, and then I don't even know what happened. I put it down, and I guess I never picked it back up. Not because I didn't even enjoy those couple hours. I don't know. Stuff got in the way, I suppose. I'm sure I'll get back to it.
There's too many games.
There's too many games.
But what did you guys think of the PlayStation 5 Future of Gaming event? Are you excited for the future of gaming? Are we in the future? Let us know down below.